If you've been following TrailRecon for any length of time, you'll know that this Jeep behind me has taken me on some unforgettable adventures over the years. And really, it's the reason TrailRecon even exists. And so I think it's time to brush off the cobwebs, give it a facelift, take it to that next level of off-road performance capability. And so today what I want to do is I'm going to talk to you about my plans in this episode of Coffee One Take. Just hang out with you in the garage, and I'll share with you a little bit about some other things I've got coming up. Stay tuned. Welcome to TrailRecon. I'm Brad, and I'm so excited that you're hanging out with me here in the garage for this episode of Coffee One Take, where we're going to talk about the transformation of the Jeep Wrangler. A little bit about where it was, where it is now, and where it's going. I'm super excited about this. In fact, I think I'm more excited about this part of the vehicle project than I've been about any other vehicle project in a long time. I'm really, really excited to share with you. And we're going to get very specific about some things today, so I think you're going to enjoy this. But first, two things I want to talk about. One, and that's the rig of the month. And I always like to showcase a rig of the month here on Coffee One Take. And this one is one I've been following on Instagram for a long time. It's a really cool old classic Willys, but this thing has been so well gone through and there's so much customization. This thing is super capable. I had the opportunity to meet the owner and take a look at the vehicle, and I'll tell you, I just could not stop looking at all the custom details. So if you don't follow him on Instagram, go check him out, Off Pavement. It's a very cool vehicle. You could scroll all the way back and see the whole build process. He's always posting cool stuff, and now he's out wheeling it and using it. It's a great rig, so that's the rig of the month. The second thing I want to talk about is the beginning of June. I will be in Las Vegas for the E3 Association Conference. I'm super excited about this. We're going to have some really cool stage conversations. We're going to have some cool events there, opportunity to just kind of meet and greet with people. And I've had an opportunity to talk with many of you that are going, but I know that there are a lot of people that are not able to attend. And so we recently announced that we're going to live stream the main stage event. So you get all the information from the main stage that we're going to be presenting there, and it's going to be really cool. So if you want to attend the live stream, I'll leave a link down below. It would be really cool to have you guys there. I can't wait. It's going to be cool. There's going to be some great talks going on and some great people at the conference. It's going to be super cool. All right. I have a ton of notes to keep us on track here. So let's talk about the JK. And just briefly, I want to talk a little bit about what this 2015 Jeep Wrangler kind of means to me. I bought this thing, it's been, 6 years now. And when I bought it, my intention was to put a winch on it and put some lights on it, and that was it. I wasn't going to do anything else. I mean, it was a Rubicon. I don't need to do anything else. But the minute we started going off-roading with it, we decided, we need to start doing some things to make it a little more capable for where we were going. But for me, initially, the Jeep was just such a cool way to go experience new places, have some new adventures. And we have made so many amazing memories in this vehicle over the years, whether it was my wife and I, my son and I, or the good friends that I was hanging out with. This vehicle, every time I look at it, there's a memory that comes back to me from some place we've been, whether it was a cool scenic place or we're just conquering some really hard trails in it. And so, I don't know, there's going to be vehicles in my driveway that come and go, that's for sure. But this one is not going anywhere. And that's kind of why I want to do this transformation. I think it deserves it. It's gone through a lot over the last couple years. I mean, initially, we drove it pretty much stock for a while, but then we put a budget boost on there, which that was a TerraFlex budget boost. That actually worked really well as a great lift. We were able to run 35s and go hit some harder trails. And that was really a good setup for a while until we wanted to go a little bit harder. We needed a little more clearance. But I think, in the beginning, I hacked up the front bumper with a saw. I trimmed the fenders. And that was just to give me more clearance because we were running larger tires, and that worked great. Aesthetically, it didn't look awesome, but it was functional and allowed us to go hit some really cool trails. But then I wanted to throw 37s on there. And so when you put 37s on there, I have a whole video on this that I did a while back. You're really, when it's a JK, the JL and the Gladiator, they're a little more forgiving with 37s, but the JK really has some things you need to do. You got to, beef up your axles, see gussets. You got to put in bigger drive shafts. and you need a lot more clearance. And so there's a lot more work that goes in steering. There's a lot more work that goes into a JK putting 37s on there. And so I went through that whole process, and I've shared that over the years with you guys. But it was great. Once it was finally dialed in, we put the Dana 44 Pro Rock, the Dynatrac Pro Rock front axle in there. Everything's been, kind of reinforced. We've got new control arm brackets. We put a whole new lift kit on there. This thing is dialed pretty good. I mean, everything on there works well. But I think it's time to take it to another level. And so that means going bigger tires, going with a different type of suspension, and I want to give it a little bit of a facelift. At least that's the plan. And so I'm going to talk through this a little bit. I think I kind of broke it down here in my notes. So let's talk about the facelift portion of it first. So right now it has steel bumpers front and rear, and those are Poison Spider bumpers, and they've held out well. They've held up well. They've taken a few hits. But they've held up well, they look good, but I want to drop the weight. And I talked about this a while back where, being a little bit lighter is going to be better. Let me rewind a second. The goal with this whole refresh is to make this thing more capable so we can go hit some harder trails like the Rubicon and Fordyce and some of the really, really difficult ones in Moab we still haven't done. But I still want to be able to be self-sustained for a little while. So we're going to make it more capable. But not completely overland blown. I mean, I'm not doing a whole big, drawer system in the back. I'm not going to say I'm not going to put a rooftop tent on there, but we're going to try to, maybe ground tent it most of the time, those kind of things. So that's the plan. I probably should have mentioned that in the beginning. Coffee one take. We don't edit. So back to the bumpers. So I'm going aluminum bumpers, front and rear. And we're going to go with a whole new tire carrier setup because we're going to be running larger tires, and so we're going to need something to carry that bigger tire. So I think we're going to go with Genrite. I think Genrite is the gold standard when it comes to aluminum bumpers out there, and I'm going to paint match them. And I know some people, pros and cons, personal preferences. I think it looks really good, all silver paint matched, and so that's the plan. So we're going to be. I think I'm going to have to take some weights, but I'll bet we shave almost 100 pounds, if not more, going from these steel bumpers to the aluminum ones. So bumpers, part of the facelift. Then these fenders are coming off. And these are the Poison Spider aluminum fenders. These are a great fender. They give you lots of clearance. But I want to go to do something that's a little more classic style to the actual JK. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the Mopar JK Highline fenders. Now, they're tough to find, but I was able to find a set, and we're going to put those on there. And I think it's going to be really cool. I want people to look at the Jeep and be like, is that stock? Is that modified? I can't tell. And so it's going to be a different look. And some people are going to be like, oh, those are way better fenders. I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm going to really enjoy these new fenders. It's going to give me a little more coverage. That's one thing when I'm out on a muddy trail. These don't give me any coverage. The mud just flies up everywhere. And so having a fender that's a little more full width is going to be better. Plus, I'm going to paint match them, which is going to look good. And because they're actually at the paint shop as we speak. And the top is off right now because the top is at the paint shop. Also getting color matched. So a whole lot of silver on the outside of this Jeep, and I think it's going to look really good. I'm super excited about it. So I think that's it for the exterior. And now for the bones of it. So I mentioned we're going to go bigger tires. We're not going to go quite 40. We're going to go with 39s. So right now it has the BFG mud terrain 37s on there. We're going to go to a 39. So a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. And I'm going to go back to a beadlock. And the reason for that is because I want that durability of the exterior ring to protect the valve stem and not be afraid, to beat them up a little bit, and plus to be able to air way down. Typically I don't go any lower than 15, 12 if I really need to, but where I want to take this Jeep, I want to be able to have the ability to air way down, and so we're going back to beadlocks now. That means that's a heavier tire, and that is a heavier wheel. So we have the Pro Rock, Dynatrac Pro Rock 44 up front, and that's going to be fine for that setup. But in the rear, even though we've put some chromoly axle shafts in there, that's not going to be enough for those 39s. And so we're going to be putting a Pro Float 60 back there from Dynatrack. So I'm super excited to put that in. I think it's going to really be, it's going to give us a little more clearance. It's going to give us a whole lot of beef back there and no worries. So that's the plan for the wheels. For the axles, and somebody will ask, probably going to go 538s for gearing, as we're going to have to re-gear. We're going with those just a little bit larger tires. That'll make it nice. Now, suspension-wise, the suspension on here right now is a little bit of a custom suspension. So we have up front, we have coilovers, and in the rear we have a shock spring setup, all from Icon. And it's been a great setup. It rides really nice. It's a little rough on the roads, but off-road it's been very capable. But I think the gold standard is a long arm system. And after riding in Marco's Jeep and driving his Jeep with that long arm system, it's definitely a notable difference how well it drives on road. And so I'm going to be putting a full long arm system from TerraFlex on the Jeep, and that's going to be pretty cool. I can't wait to get that installed, share that with you guys, and then go out and just kind of see the difference. I mean, really, like, go hit the trail with this one last time, and then go hit a trail with it with the long arm, and just see what the difference is. And I will definitely share that with you guys. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a huge improvement. We've already done quite a bit of armor underneath, so I don't think I need to add any aluminum skid plates or any additional aluminum skid plates. I think we're good with that. But the suspension is going to be, suspension, wheels, and tires is going to be a whole new setup, and it's going to be pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything here. Yeah, that's about it for under the vehicle. Now, what about inside the vehicle? We've done some stuff over the years, but I am going to kind of take it to a different level. So you can't tell, but there's no back seats in there. I have pulled the back seats out, and we've gone a full plate system in the back, so it's nothing but storage back there. I put a very small fridge slider, and I'm going to put a very small fridge back there, just so when we do like 2 or 3 overnight trips, that I can have some cold food back there. But I'm not putting, big, heavy storage system in this vehicle. I don't think it needs it. I can bring a ground tent. I can sleep inside the vehicle. I've actually slept inside this more than once. So that's no back seat. That's gone. I think it's a great option. The goose gear setup is great. I did it in the JL, and now having done it here, it's like, why did I do this a long time ago? There's so much storage. I don't have any kids to ride the back anymore, so it's not a big deal. And then for the seats, right now we have the silver leather seats in there that we did many years ago. Those have held up well. But I want to do something a little different because it's going to be so silver on the outside. And look, aesthetics matter. I mean, I don't care. Maybe you like, just a four-wheeler should just be, it doesn't matter if you beat it up. I like my vehicles to look good. So you're going to have to just deal with that. And so on the inside, I want to do something a little different and non-silver. And I'm kind of thinking some red seats, kind of the silver on the outside, red on the interior. That's kind of where I'm leaning right now. I don't know. You tell me what you think. Maybe I should just go black with some red stitching or some silver stitching. I don't know. I think the red seats would look kind of cool. You look at some of those old classic Porsches, they were silver on the outside and red interiors, and I always love that look. And it's not a Porsche, it's a Jeep, but it would look kind of cool, I think. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on the interior. What do you think I should do with that? Then the stereo. So this has that old digital stereo with the green display on it, and I think I need to bring it to the next level. There's a few stereo options out there. I haven't decided on which one I'm going to do yet, but I definitely want to do something a little more modern, something that, some navigation I can use my phone with, all that kind of stuff. So I haven't decided on that yet. There's some good ones out there, but I like my music. I don't play it for you guys because I'll get copyright strikes, but I do like listening to some good tunes when I'm on the trail and when I'm going on my long trips. Sometimes I'll throw an audiobook in there and just zone out when we're on the road for 8 to 10 hours getting to wherever it is we're going. And so I want to have a good sound system in there, and then we're going to update that a little bit. So what am I missing? Oh, yeah. This is cool. Okay, so I haven't done this before. I'm getting ready to do it on the diesel. And this is a little bit about what's to come on some of the other vehicles, but I'll just share with you. maybe installing a red arc system with a lithium ion battery into the diesel. And I think, the pros and cons about doing, a dual battery system in the engine bay or doing an auxiliary battery system, lithium somewhere else. And I think that is, for me, it's going to be the best option. Lithium is lighter, and you have more mounting options with it. And so I'm going to be doing that in the diesel, and I'm also going to do it here. Probably going to do it in a little more compact design here because I don't want to go heavy, I don't want to go big, but I still want to be able to power the fridge. And maybe just have some exterior solar panels that I can just hook up and throw out there. Where on the other one, I may actually do some hard-mounted solar panels. But this one, I just want to be able to pull up to camp, throw a solar panel out, and keep it simple. Because the goal here is capability, keeping it light, making it look good, and just simplifying things to maybe have some really cool adventures in it. So that's the plan for the JK. That's an earful, and it's a lot, and I have a lot to do because I'm going to try to get this done by middle of summer here because I want to get out to the Rubicon. I want to get out to Fordyce. I want to get back to Slick Rock and some of the really hardcore trails that we've been at, but some of the hardcore trails that I haven't done, and it would probably make it on most of those now. There's no doubt about that. But taking it to the next level is going to make it a little easier and a little nicer, and I think it's going to just be cool. I think it's going to be, the rock crawler of the TrailRecon, team. I mean, I think when I go hit something hard, this is the Jeep I want to take with me, and maybe even some of the easy trails. I don't know. I love this Jeep. I know people are like weird now. Brad, you're in love with the Jeep. That's crazy. I just have an emotional attachment with this Jeep. We've just done so much together. I don't know. Anyway. That's what's going on with the JK. Okay, let's talk a little bit about some of the other vehicles because I've been getting a lot of questions about those. So the Ram Power Wagon, we haven't done any new stuff to the Ram Power Wagon. I'm trying to think. I don't think we've done anything new to the Power Wagon recently, but I am going to lift it. We're going to go a little bit higher and a little bit better suspension. And so I'm working with some folks here locally that are going to help me out with that, and more to follow on that. We're going to film a full video on that. But then when we go a little bit bigger, will we go bigger tires? I don't know. Those 37s work pretty well right now on that thing, but we'll see. Never say never. I've learned that. Never say never, right? I bought a stock Jeep and it's a Rubicon. Never say never. I'm never going to lift it and put 40s on it. Okay, the Wrangler diesel. So actually, Marco and I are getting ready to head out on a trip here in about a week where we're going to go head off. It's going to be pretty cool. It's with the Overland Adventure with Jeep, sponsored by Jeep. And so we're going to go out there and I'm going to take the diesel. And I love that. I love that diesel. People are asking me all kinds of questions about, do I have any problems with the diesel? And I don't. But I'm going to do that battery management system. I don't know if I'm going to have time to get that done before I leave because I still need to brainstorm a few things that I need to do with that. But I definitely need to install that. I want to put solar on there. But really, I'm pretty happy with where it sits right now. I would like a little more lift. The Mopar lift on there is great. It drives great. It performs well off-road. But I would like a little more clearance, and so I am keeping my eye out for manufacturers that are coming out with diesel-specific lift kits that'll be a little bit taller, so maybe we'll upgrade that. There have been a few times when that breakover angle is like, it would have been nice to be about an inch higher, so maybe 3.5 inches I think might be good. We'll see. So that's the plan with the diesel right now. And then my wife's Jeep. Again, she drives the heck out of that thing. Her and I actually just went, we didn't film it, this was just kind of for us, but we were up in a little place called Idlewild, and we were up there exploring some trails. Beautiful area, the pine trees. It was Mother's Day, and she said, I want to go jeeping and I want to see pine trees. And so I was like, yep, done, mission accomplished. So I took the diesel, she took her JL, and we went and explored up there. And she loves off-roading that thing. She loves driving it. We probably need to do a video of her doing that. But that was really just for Mother's Day and just having fun. But she's been bugging me about installing the amp side steps on there. And so I'm going to be doing that soon. I'm going to do that here in the garage and film that and talk about that install. It shouldn't be a difficult install, but a lot of people might have interest on how that goes on. I know there's a lot of married guys out there and their wives are probably asking for similar things. And so she's let me know that I need to hurry up and get those things installed on her Jeep. So we'll be doing that soon. And then last vehicle is the one I think everybody's favorite. It's almost my favorite. It's tough. I love this Jeep. I love the Cherokee Chief. The 79 Cherokee Chief, I have not done a whole lot to it, but I did just replace the radiator, put all whole new cooling hoses in there, and gave it a little bit of a refresh, kind of flushed the whole system out, put a new thermostat in there. The thermostat in there was the wrong size. It's running great. It's got some air fuel issues when it's cold, and so I need to tune that up and dial that in. And then I'm trying to get the people that are doing, the folks that are painting the roof right now and the fenders for the JK. It's South County Auto Body. They had a bunch of hot rods outside, and so I know they do work on classic vehicles, and so I sent him some pictures of the Cherokee Chief, and I'm hoping that he's willing to help with some of the rust and at least do a kind of a clean paint job on there, keeping it the same color. That's the goal with that, but then I still need to get the steering kind of squared away. The steering is still pretty sloppy, and I need to get that air conditioner installed. The air conditioner is, I don't know, I feel like I'm over my head a little bit in that air conditioner install, and so I'm kind of reaching out and seeing if I can get a little assistance with that, because it's not a plug and play system. There's a lot of customization when you're talking about air conditioning setups. There's a little more work, so I don't know. I may get some help for that one. So, but the Cherokee Chief, I keep saying it. We take it out for daily Sunday drives, and we take it out on a local easy trail, but I really want to make sure that thing is super capable before we take it on any big trips. I'd like to take it up to 395, and go up to some of those cool trails up there, but it's not ready yet. It's not capable enough. So anyway, that's what's going on with the TrailRecon garage, but specifically with the Wrangler. Hope you're excited as I am about the Wrangler. I can't wait, and I'm going to share with you along the way. We'll kind of do some updates over the next couple weeks as things come together about what's going on, and you're going to see this in more videos. We're going to take it out on the trail. We're going to have some fun with it. We're going to go hit some of those harder trails. I can't wait to get back on the Rubicon and the first time I did the Rubicon was in this Jeep. It was on 2.5 inches of lift and 35s, and we made it through no problems. I think we only winched twice. My goal is to take it back through and not have to winch at all. That's the plan, but we'll definitely film that adventure. All right, one more last plug for the E3 conference. If you want to go attend that live stream, link down below, guys. And as always, it's been great hanging out with you here in the garage, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. All right, take care.